like to welcome you all to this session on digital mapping for the humanities, a hands-on workshop on GIS tool. Our instructor today is my colleague Alexandros Maridakis. Thank you, Alexandros, for being here. I will just briefly present you. Alexandros is a laboratory teaching staff member at the University of Crete. Alexandros specializes in digital skills, educational technology, and GIS, Geographic Information Systems. Alexandros holds a diploma in engineering, in electrical and computer engineering from the University of Patras in Greece, an MSc, and additional postgraduate training in computer science education. Alexandros has taught and supported laboratory courses on integrating ICT into teaching and learning and on digital applications for the humanities since 2003 at this institution in the Department of History and Archaeology. Alexandros' research and teaching interests include ICT and digital literacy in higher education, GIS applications in cultural heritage and archaeology, e-learning and teleconferencing systems, and the pedagogical use of new technology. So thank you, Alexandre, for being here today. And you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. I thank you, and I'm very glad to be here because it is a chance to present everything or almost everything about GIS that it is near to the humanities and the studies of doctoral and you and everybody that is involved.
And today it's GIS. Is it GIS Day?
GIS Day.
So it's a happy coincidence.
Coincidence that I think it is very nice to say some words about GIS Day. And we can say that we celebrate it with an international celebration. If you don't know that, I think in America it's more celebrating with a way just to make so good in a better way. So GIS Day provides an international forum for users of geographic information systems all over the world. So through this day, we can demonstrate some applications and to show what's the difference using GIS or not using them. This event here celebrates GIS with other people, and we have the chance to discover and explore the benefits of the use of GIS. The ArcGIS Day is crucial effort and open to everyone to participate, so we take the chance with Maria because of the coincidence to make this presentation. The use of GIS, it's more relevant than ever. We have some changes, climate, urban expansion, sustainable growth, water scarcity, cultural diversity, energy, tourism, political stability, natural hazards, especially the last. So we can represent all these phenomena on a GIS system. So all these points leads us to consent that GIS is a very fundamental tool, not only for geographers, but also for your studies and your science.
Autonomous driving, autonomous cars.
Of course. Now I was
where I guess it's necessary.
Of course, in China they have taxis without driver, and I think that in a few years we can see them everywhere.
Yeah.
So the the real thing is that the technology goes on, and the challenges require citizens like you and us with strong foundation in geography. So nobody can say, I don't care about GIS. You can see the big picture while also understanding how global patterns and trends manifest at local scales. So GIS is a chance to make further scientific and researching. So, Capit GIS Day.
How many years are this day is running?
That is 10 or 15 years.
Working.
There is an organization, the ESRI, and the national organization that is founded in American special organization that has the ArcGIS program that is behind all this celebration, especially, but it's not only for this special program, it's general for GIS and their use worldwide. If you, I don't want to stop sharing, but if you visit the site of ESRI, you can find more things about GIS today. The previous site that we visited. Okay. So the next year you will be ready to celebrate with that again. Now, about the outline of this, I think it is will be useful for you and for people they are watching us from Zoom, that to make an introduction what GIS is, okay? To say some words about software options we have, also what about applications, and some theoretical about what is maps, data layers. I don't know if you have some experience or some knowledge on that. I'm good. Okay. So you can help us. Also, Tonya can. So we will start with some small introduction, and the goals we're expecting is to understand the fundamentals of GIS, to try to make a relevance to the humanities, and also to say you something, how do we use an open source and web-based mapping tools, because the main tools are two, ArcGIS and QGIS, in order to try to visualize some cultural data or some other data like linguistics data that in TALOS programs you are used to use more often. Finally, it will be a goal if you can create alone and publish an interactive digital map. And you can say through the map some meaningful cultural stories. Let's try to start. Okay. I have a slide here with some answers, but if I ask you what is a GIS, what can you say about that? Without, don't look. If somebody wants to answer
I'm
from Zoom,
checking that.
if you can
Of course.
use the chat.
Yeah. Και η κάμερα έχει κολλήσει στο Βαγγέλη, δεν ξέρω γιατί. Έχει...
So, let's try. From everything you know, what is a GIS? Because it's very crucial. If somebody asks you what is a GIS, if you have some experience that you have to define or especially little children with simple words. What's the first thing that comes to your head? What is GIS? You have an experience of GIS.
Like digitizing spatial data and
Okay.
maps and things like that.
What is spatial data?
Um,
Can you define that first?
Yes.
Because he said a nice word.
Mhm.
Spatial data.
spatial data is, I guess, data points that you can situate in like longitude and latitude, like where they're located
Okay.
in a map.
So that this is the reason that is special.
Mhm.
Spatial. Okay, Tonya.
If I would explain it simply and generally without terms, specified terms, I would say that you have a map, a digital map, and you put layers. And
Okay.
other than layers, you also put spots that they represent maybe places, objects, even architectural spaces, whatever. And you just represent it with spots on a map and also with layers. That's what I would say.
That's nice.
Layers of information
Layers of information.
attached to a map.
Nice. Do you have any idea, Rafael?
Yeah,
You are.
I'm fully covered.
I asked Rafael because he's in philology studies
Yeah,
program. no?
and
So-
Rachel too. Yeah.
So also, but in Greece I don't know if we have combined philosophy or philological studies with maps until now.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe less or more.
Let's hope.
Okay. Maybe anybody there?
Yeah.
I say, okay.
Okay.
That's right. We have right. In a traditional way, with classical maps, we have a paper that we have tried to put it on a table, and we can spot, like Tonya says, some things. But if we have a lot of information, a lot of data, the problem was that we need a lot of maps. The first problem, we need a map to note archaeological places, a map to note cultural sites. So you need a lot of maps. Yeah. And it was not practical first thing. So technology, computers help us to make digital maps. The first thing. So with a computer, we can have a lot of information. And the second thing that we can go a next step to analyze, okay, to analyze this data and make some research and or other scientific inquiries. That these inquiries we can put with a paper. Okay, we can only look at it and say some things on the paper. So a definition of GIS information system, as if we take the words that you say, is a technology that collects, you say that we collect, analyze, manages, and displays spatial or geographic. Okay, when you say geographic, it's spatial data, it's about the same word, but if we have information of spatial data, is to have more information, not only where is a point, where is on the map. We know this point that is on the map have some information about what is there, and some other.
It depends what I'm looking for.
Okay. Of course, we have thematic maps
Exactly, layers, maps.
and the layers. So, going on, what is a GIS to give you some ideas? We have write some things here, but if you want to see a perspective future, we are ranking up there that in some years we have $1 billion invested. You can understand it because, as you say, especially for GPS technology, everything is on a map. Cars we can drive autonomous without drivers because we have map, we have satellites, we have technology to do that. So you can see that the GIS market will be more and more like the artificial intelligence that we can combine to them. Okay. Also, some things that I have to say about that is that the GIS systems also offer us the possibility to have a 2 dimensions or 3 dimension mapping spatial data. Especially can say you that GIS combines database operations. What I mean with that? Do you have any experience with databases application? Okay. Databases is the base of GIS system. Really, a GIS system, what is a database that combines a map with table with attributes of therefore some different kinds of information that is interesting for us. In other seminars, the main words that we can say about GIS that GIS explain, with a GIS system we can explain, predict, or plan. Okay. And it is very useful, like a tool for all the science, and especially for you here in the TALOS program. I think that is a chance to use GIS systems because a lot of information that you manage here, you can put it them on a map. I think they don't.
I think they are trying to also.
Okay. If we want to make a more academic definition, is a system of capturing, storing, checking, integrating, manipulating, analyzing, and displaying spatial data. Okay, so if someone asks you what is a GIS, if you say all these 5 or 6 words, you can include everything what a GIS system does. The main words that you can use that we combine attribute, second, spatial data. That means that we have information and the place where. Also, the GIS systems have meaning on the human activity. Okay. And the core idea is, I'm writing at them, okay, that we are connecting the where with what on a map, and also when. Do you understand what means when I am saying when?
When an event happens, if we are talking about a specific event,
Okay.
that happened in a specific place.
So we have understand that on a map we have the where. So we can connect it with GIS with what? What may,
For example,
be
birthplace
okay.
of a philosopher.
Okay, birthplace of a philosopher. But also you can connect the GIS with when. What I mean, in the same place we have some facts or some events about changing in time. Okay, so you can have a chronicle or a timeline, okay, in the same place. So you can see when. I would say,
For example, the disaster from Pompeii.
Exactly. Also, we have a disaster, physical phenomenon of earthquake. We have a place that there are houses some other human activities, you can see that in a certain time after the earthquake, you see a different. Okay, so having a GIS also have not all the weather, also have when, and it's very interesting because you are in your science here, you can connect a lot of things like philosophers changing words that changing in a place through time. Okay, it's very interesting. In the introduction for GIS, we were focused on where and what, but when, don't forget that to have and when, and we can make more scientific inquiries. So, if we have what is a GIS, your mind, first thing is maps, okay? But you can also imagine all these other okay? Applications for your mobile phone, carriers. Okay? You can occupy it with GIS. Independent if you are a philosopher who studies or you are a historian or archaeologist, especially archaeologists, can use GIS with very success. Also, when we say GIS, your mind must go to analysis. Okay. And of course, that if we have GIS, we have data, software, and somewhere here satellites. Satellites, it's the technological tool to have GIS because we have satellites around the Earth that they are named geostatical. So we can see them, they are not moving. So we have, for this reason, we have GPS. Of course. We have satellites that go with the same velocity around like Earth. So there are some watchers outside that they are staying. So GPS is working because if we haven't something or somebody outside there to be in a stable condition to watch there, GPS and also the cartographers will have a main problem where is something or someone. And if you have a satellite, a geostatical satellite, a GPS satellite, especially, you can define your position on there exactly with having an error of, now the error is very small, about 3 or 4 centimeters. A few years ago was about 30 centimeters. Okay, so the technological tool satellites make a progress for GIS. Okay. If we have a GIS, the first thing that we have to, the first thing that comes to our mind is where is sun? Or to calculate the distances better, or have to find an optimal route between cities or between streets for a courier, for example. Here we have an example of putting 4 main big cities and capitals or something, London, Washington. And if you take the map above this, you can see that Washington may be somewhere here, London somewhere here, and Tokyo at the right side. The problem is not to put them on the map, is to have exactly coordinates. So there is a system, you can see under the coordinates, the graphical coordinates. If you have Washington, they have 2 numbers, the latitude and the longitude. This pair of the two numbers give us a certain position. Okay. If you have an experience of Google Earth, you have, okay, we will see together later to make some practice on it. First, the Google Earth Pro especially is the first step to have touching GIS. Okay, so the satellites help us to have exact coordinates. So if you put them, these two numbers, don't care, it's not, it is very simple, it's more complicated.
Yes,
Two numbers, you write them on your GPS and your car drives you exactly to the point you want. Okay. This is a general icon, very simple, but I think that you have no questions on it. Okay. So go on to have some theoretical foundations for the GIS. Okay. To have GIS, we have this kind of theories behind the spatial theory. How do we manage data concerning a space and their information? First thing, we have some cartography theory. We see here that we have coordinates. So you have to know some things about cartography. What is coordinates? Some numbers, yes, but you have to know some things, because if you see here, I have some numbers with positive and some numbers with negative. What means that? Earth here in the place of 0.0, there is some lines of coordinates of
the baseline.
the baselines. So we are going to north and we are going to south. If you see all the words like this photo, the line that is at the 0 point, what is line? What do you think? Do you know some basic cartography?
Equator.
Equator, yes, of course. So at the point 0, we have the equator. At the point 90, we have the north and the south pole.
The poles.
Okay, okay. This is so everything is put on a certain place. Also, at the other side of the longitude, we have a. This is the
vertical
degrees.
line.
We have the 0 point. Where is that? You know. And we have going around. Are you good with mathematics? We have some degrees. It starts from 0 and goes to 180. Okay. At the back plate. You can imagine that the Earth it's a sphere. Okay. So the 0 point where is? Right here.
Green.
Yeah,
At the
Greenwich.
where I'm talking about longitude.
It's Greenwich, England, right? Greenwich Mean Time.
Yes, it is in Greenwich, near London. So you can see that London is near, because the astronomer, scientists of Great Britain, a lot of years ago, they decided that that this place we are starting to count around the world. Okay, so
And the 0 point about latitude. Is it is it a special city?
yes.
On that line.
yes, we will see it later when we try to use Google Earth. It's near London, is Greenwich. There is there was a telescope. I think that is today it's.
And is the worldwide clock hours connected to longitude?
Yes, of course, because
Time
the
zone.
gorges have some
Time
time zones around the world. Okay. So I try to show you that we have put everything on the world, but the world is not a perfect sphere. If you have a ball of football or things, if you try to put the surface on a tape, you have some problems. You can take a sphere to make it to make it a surface, perfect surface. Like we have also some stop plot. Okay. Difference between digital analog data. Do you have any experience, any knowledge about this difference? I think that in this program, TALOS, you manage digital data. So among them, digital and all of this. So this is very interesting to know why we refer digital data. Okay.
Well,
It is a very easy way. It's an easy way because everything you can digitize everything. Okay, analog is practical, difficult. You can read the bullets there. Also have fast, efficient transfer. You can have a map in a USB, transferring it. Okay. Also, you can manage it and can extract exactly what you want. If you have a map, it is practically difficult to have a lot of maps with you to find something. Also, if you have a map, traditional map, it's a problem for you because you have to keep files in your somewhere, a lot of files. You can refresh them. So the problem is the solution is that we can digitize analog data. Do you know something about digitization? Of course. What is the digitization? I'm asking you because it's very precise. Don't try to say everything that comes in your mind. It's very useful to have an answer because you have to make with the same an approach to GIS or these definitions, and it's very useful to have an answer because why? What is digitization? I will say you a simple example. Your parents have a photo. You have it in paper. Okay. But you can send it to your cousins in another country, for example. You have to scan the photo to make it a digital file. So you have it in your mobile phone and you can send it to other people. So you make it digitization. An analog item that was a photograph, a paper photograph. Okay. You send it with a digital way, some people somewhere outside of your country. This is a simple digitization. Also, if you have a map 200 years ago from cartographers of this period, it's very interesting to you if you can make a digitization. The problem now is
so it's any kind of process
no process.
that we can transform analog data to digital data.
Of course.
Either
And this way,
either photographer, either whatever.
and we can with this way make analog digital. To make digital analog is another thing. So if you have a map I was saying, a map, a historical. The first thing you can do is to digitize it, to make a JPEG, JPEG file, to have it in your book. But you have only the picture. Okay. The problem is, and the GIS system solves this problem. If this map, maybe a treasure map, has a point, but you don't know where is this point, you have no idea. If you have digitized the map, there are some tools with the name georeference. Okay, so you can take this map and put it on a real map. And with some mathematical tools, we can extract this old map or shrink it. We can, if we find some places that they are today, if we find a river or something like that. So we can put the old map and georeference it on a modern map. And very useful. Archaeologists find some ancient theaters because they have some maps, and there were some places that like rivers or mountains, or so they make a digitalization, but they have scientific and conclusions. They find something. Okay. Taking the digital items, you can put it on a map, and you can georeference. Okay. So, versus digital analog, you prefer digital. Also, in your science, you have analog items like poems or text, literature text. A few years, somebody that was occupied with Kazakhstan. Okay. The problem for him was that to read all the books, to remember them, a few years ago, 50 years. A philology student, so, and to make some inquiries, scientific or research, to make some conclusions. But now you have to digitize all the text. You can make some, you can make an analysis, everything you have. You can search how many words, how many times in the same text. You know that because TALOS is, I think, occupied. But also this inquiries, you can put them on a map, especially if you have positions to put. So let's go. I don't think that you get bored with the theoretical. Be patient. Later we have to test that things. Okay. So you can see that ArcGIS combines this kind of data. Spatial and attribute data. Okay. Attribute data is the description. That's okay. Described information. Okay. Okay. In your mind, you have to have the first show the locations coordinates. So you have to know a little bit cartography theory. Okay. And the attributes in general is the game for you. Attributes, maybe some things about that are in your interest. Okay, the first thing is the name of the place. The name of the place is the name of the place. But the attribute data, we have population, we can have any kind of
information very interesting for.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so here is the link. Background is the landscape. Okay. In this landscape, that's the background. We can put a lot of layers with different, but the same kind of information. You can have a layer of archaeological sites combined with a layer of industries. It has no meaning. So every layer have to same kind of information. Okay. We can imagine that we have in the background, and only you have to take some films. Okay, so you can put it a film of information, and one film, like as you see on the slide, must be mountains. Another film must be roads, must be rivers. Okay, so the basic logic of a GIS is to put on the background different layers of the same information. Information must everything you can imagine. Okay. Another side of the different layers, you can see that on the image base, we can put hydrography, rivers and lakes, boundaries of countries, of regions, everything. We also can make a layer of the land use. There are agricultural uses, and somewhere there's urban usage. Okay. So if somebody asks you about the layers, you can say that, like a poem, that there are different types of data can be integrated to GIS and be presented as a map layer. Okay. Like examples, streets, parcels, flood zones, client location, demographics data. Demographics may be interesting to you here. And finally, what the meaning of that is that we gain insight about relevant characteristics of a location. We are in a place and we have some characteristics. Let's go on some a nice story. Do you know you aren't a historian, but you know this? Like you say about
About the well, that everybody drank from the same well in London.
yeah.
It's a
This year is
study.
the starting point of GIS. They don't know that it was the GIS. Yeah, later we call them GIS, but we know the story. And it was a use of in practice GIS. Do you want to say something? Do you want about that?
I've done a lot of work with GIS for London, like historical mapping, and the thing you were talking about before with georeferencing. And it's really interesting because I've worked mostly with like 16th and 17th century maps of London, and they had no idea what the city actually looked like in this way. But then you get to this point and it really is, you see the maps just improve so much in accuracy, which is really like cool to see over time.
Okay.
So you created, what was this project? You can
It was called, or still exists, it's called Read London, Records of Early English Drama.
fantastic.
Uh,
So they have recordings of the London of these centuries, that the layers of these decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think they haven't changed. And especially the old town there. Like,
Yeah.
If you- I have the same files later, but we can put the same files of the city. They're about the same stage. So there was a cholera hit this year. So Dr. Physician, so Snow, make this simple idea. On a map, put the deaths. Where we have deaths, you see the gray, I think, color. Also, he was trying to find out what happens, why people are dying. So also in the same map, you put the pumps or the water pumps. Okay. Another layer. First layer, the second layer. The basis was the city map. Without trying to make a very difficult thinking, only watching a map, and this is the point of using GIS today. Okay, you can see that where in the places where water pumps, there are a lot of death around. Okay. So you make a simple conclusion that the water, something happens with water. It's very interesting things, you can find a lot of studies. But this is the starting point for GIS map. Okay. Let's go more action. If you want to use a GIS, do you have any questions? The cholera hit is a very interesting example. You can use it everywhere, you know, because it's okay. Let's go for the mapping software. Okay, we say the theoretical advantages and disadvantages of the GIS. If somebody asks you, what can I use to have GIS? Where can I find GIS? What you can answer? In practice, where is the GIS?
You need applications.
Application somewhere. Okay, we know about GIS, the theoretical basis, and we want to use it. Where is the GIS?
For example, in maps, Google Maps,
Google
for
Maps.
example,
Fine.
either in our mobile or in
Mobile for
a
mobile.
new vehicle.
Okay.
Then you can use it in order to find the restaurant, to find the gas stations, to find more and more things you need.
Okay.
Everything you do for hotels,
Perfect.
ships, it's
Perfect.
everything.
You? Any other idea? If somebody say, okay, let's use GIS, what you will take as first first thing?
And another thing.
Google Maps is the first thing.
Yes.
You have to know your map. Google Maps. I want to go somewhere. So I will use my mobile phone with the Google Map. Okay. Do you know another application, another computer program?
Matology.
Matology.
The Greek, either the Greek
Property.
one,
Property.
the property.
They.
I mean, ones that are on the screen already, but.
So
Um,
it's a fish.
yeah.
Especially America is a lot of steps, I think, in the use of GIS. So maybe sometimes things that you feel that is
Also,
that exists from, but they are not exist in other countries.
and also in the weapons that fly in the air. The weapons.
Of course. They are driving with systems. Also, we can check the pollution of the environment. Where is the? Okay. There are some main
sensors, either in the nature or in the cities that we know that the Internet of Things is coming.
Of course.
So I think that every sensor have GIS connected.
Fine. So we have some tools. The more near to us are Google Maps because we find them. But I don't think that with Google Maps you can make some research or scientific files. With Google Maps it's problem. So we have here a table that we have. You can see the slide now. We have the type of GIS systems, and we say some words about their analysis power, how strong are they to answer some questions, and we have some examples. First of all, they have three categories. The first category is GeoBrowser. Browser is only to see on your map maps, and the famous Google Earth, Google Maps, the same about. Also, there are app maps, Waze, and etc. But they have a weak analysis part. Mainly, they can to display data and to make some simple things like that we will see later. Another category is web-based. They have a medium analysis part. Web-based, you can use Google Earth from your browser. Yeah. But it's not the real powerful application. There is Google Earth Pro. Do you know Google Earth Pro? Don't know. We will see it together to have the hands-on self. Okay, so the web-based are good tools, but they use internet, so they have some restrictions. If you use internet, it depends if you have internet or you not. You have maybe from the speed of the connection. Okay, the web-based. Web-based are GIS Online. That's a good and nice tool that we will see together later. Okay, to My Maps, another tool to Google My Maps. I don't know if Google My Maps is using so some steps behind. And the strong tools, the strong machines are that we have installed in our PCs, okay? And then the desktop type, that there are two main programs, ArcGIS, QGIS. Okay, do you have ever hear about this? Okay. They provide full control of the maps, and you can perform some questions and quiz with some other tools connected with these programs. So, what's the difference? ArcGIS and QGIS. The main difference.
Is ArcGIS, you have to pay for it, and QGIS is.
Also, they are also
Very important.
also I must say that also there is mapping for, but mapping for is percentage is very of use is very small. Mapping for very nice program. Okay, ArcGIS and QGIS differences. There's one main difference. Careful. Is anybody outside? The main difference, Tony. Tony accept. No, but don't know. In this world, we live the main difference
Well,
concerns the world.
the main difference, I think,
The
money.
money.
Money,
But Rachel said that.
QGIS is a free and open source program. Do you know what is free and open source programs? You know, you don't pay for them, and you can use it for what you need. What you need, you can manage it very easy. The non-free and non-open source programs like ArcGIS, you can pay for a license, okay? And also it's very sticky, but it's very powerful. You can't change it to bring it like you want. Okay. So the main difference is this. Well, you pay for that, you don't pay. Okay, let's see some difference.
If I may, QGIS is supported by the community, open source community.
Yes, of course. Open sources programs are developed from some forums, some communities, from people that are interesting. There's a great,
And also in some cases, I think.
yes, they
funded
help each other.
and also funded by companies. It's not
But some companies want not to depend from other companies, and they support
open source.
the developing of open source. Also, they need a donation from people, and they want the first thing you can see in QGIS, ask you if you want to donate some money. But we are students here, so we don't donate. You can use it. Okay, so open source commercial. It's about the same tools. If somebody, but I will not spend a lot of time here, wants to see exactly differences, there is some here, but the main difference is that QGIS is developed by people that are interested on GIS. The other side is you have a powerful tool, commercial powerful tool. If you use, I can bring you an example. If you use Microsoft Office, do you use it?
Unfortunately.
Of what? You know that you have a commercial product that includes any new thing, like the last versions have artificial intelligence plugins. You can speak and write. Also, you can check for plagiarism. There is in the program. Okay. If you want to have the latest development, you can use a commercial program. If you want a more stable and more independent, I can say program, you can use QGIS. Okay. This is the difference, Microsoft Office and LibreOffice. I don't know someone to use LibreOffice.
I've used it in the past, but the community does not use it.
Yeah.
It was very, very difficult to
Yeah.
communicate with the colleagues. You would send them documents that they would
Yeah.
be.
If you,
would be able
because
to
they
open.
use the open document form,
Yeah, but
you have to change them to.
can say as doc.
That's right.
Yeah,
from-
but it was, I used that, over 10 years ago.
QGIS, we use it for academic and archaeological projects with the Department of History without problems. For the
Which one?
student use. QGIS, we use it. We use it because it is very expensive. Also, the other hand, we have some licenses, and I will say for the ArcGIS Online, not the desktop, application, and it's very, very interesting because ArcGIS Online is very interesting. I don't know if somebody here wants to use ArcGIS Online. But here, use it.
I mean, I've used it before. I was just checking to
If
see
you
if
want-
my old login still works.
Maybe because we celebrate the GIS Day, maybe we win a license of free access to ArcGIS, right? But that's the like. In both programs, the basic workflow is to create a new project. We say projects. I will see you later in the next slide. Because why we say project and we don't say a file? Project in a GIS. In a GIS, like work, we can say project, but without the meaning. Why we say not files, but projects? You will see it in practice and process, but I'm asking you because to understand.
Software, I'm not a software engineer, but software engineers, they create project
is
these because you need to write the different files.
different file. That's right. Probably. Look, if you write the text in Word, you will have a file with the doc. Okay, it's one file. You write something, it's one file. I have this presentation, it is one file. Okay, PowerPoint, PPT. In GIS systems, we can make with one file what we want. So there are a lot of files making the final result. We have the shape files, we have the projection files. Just a minute. I go somewhere here. There are about five kind of okay. It depends on the data type. We have shape files, this kind of file, okay. Database files about the attribute. I told you the attributes. There's a separate file, attributes. Also, we have a file that shows the projection. Do you remember the coordinates? Where is the attributes? Where is the shapes? So the project have a lot of files of GIS, and we don't have only one file. It's a problem. If you use one file, it's a problem for you. You don't know where's the projection. It's like to have a treasure map and not having where's the north, where's the south. No, nothing. Okay, let's go. Okay, so about QGIS, the ArcGIS in the workflow is to create a project to add the base map where we are. Okay, the base map is the land. To put the layers, like in layers, point, the attribute data, yeah, and finally to have results. Okay. An overview of ArcGIS is conventional program, so we can refer that ESRI is the main organization. It's a huge organization. After the Second World War, exists more than 50 years. And we can say that ESRI have changed the way of GIS. ArcGIS was the first program of GIS. And they had developed this year with cooperation with the military use. Okay, it's about the same workflow. We make also projects, import data, to plus. Okay, so I will learn you some things on these programs, and if you want to start saying about this post-theoretical, we will make a stop to see Google Earth Pro. Those are not so boring. And we'll go back again to the theoretical basis of what is vector, what is raster, because another basic thing you can say the difference is the difference among vector and raster features. You know, somebody, what is vector, what is raster? I will explain you later. Do you have any idea?
Usually, like when you work with a raster, it's more of like it's more what we were talking about before with georeferencing with the maps, like distorting the maps. So it's more of like an image, while like vectors are more like points and data that aren't visual, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Later. We wanted to give you a short answer. Look, a vector data file, the vector in general, is when we have a line, and we say a line begins from this point, ends to another point. A vector means that if we change the positions of the beginning and the end of this line, okay, the shape of the line gets longer or shorter, and don't change within the change of the first point and then. This is a vector. If you make it a zoom or bigger or smaller on this line, the line will be a line, okay, about the same shape. So in the other side, raster files. Raster files is JPEG. Yeah. A photo. Okay. If you have a photo with your camera, the camera has a sensor, okay, that take photos. Okay. The sensor, it consists of a lot of pixels, pixels. So the eye of the camera is not like our eye that is analog. The eye is digital, that we say before. Okay. The eye of the camera, it is a total little bit pixels. As you have a camera, you have a lot bigger number of pixels or a better analysis. Say. So it's a little bit all the photo is consists of bits. So if you make a zoom, you can notice that in your computer. Make a zoom in a photo. If you go some time, you see what you see. Pixels. So you can see the photo. You see a very a noise. We say with the noise. Okay.
Yes, but if you enlarge too much a photo, then the quality is
It changes.
yes, it is
The person is required for that reason. If we need to make a poster, you need great
yes,
bigger analysis than a small photo because you can enlarge it. You can make a poster. Okay. So the main difference is that you will say that look, I have a vector in the raster. Here, the letter C is a vector. It is a file that has designed for font. Maybe. If you make the fonts of the Microsoft Office, enlarge font, enlarge, make size, and they don't change their shape. But if the letter C was a photo, like the second, if you enlarge it, you can see the second. And here is you can see next to this photo the difference between vector and raster. We'll see it later again because in ArcGIS and QGIS, in the main menu tabs, you can see you use raster or vector. It's based. Okay. Do you have any experience for Google Earth Pro? Okay. Look something that maybe they are useful in future. Okay, the program starts. Do you want to change it in English?
maybe because of the other.
Yes, okay. There are some.
Yes, because we have also some foreign
Okay.
points.
Okay. Yes, tools. In this menu tab here, we find tools, and in general tab, we change it to English, United States. One more thing. Maybe. We start, and we have the English. That's it. Just like the view of the brain. Yeah. Okay. took some tools here. This screen you see here is a general idea of the GIS system. In the main view, we see the map. Here you see all the world, but we don't see. Also, here is the equator. We are discussing before, also the equator, and also the prime meridian, last one. And you can see the prime meridian is the first, is near. If you zoom in England, you can see here. If it is interesting, here is London. Somewhere here is Greenwich, so we can search it if you write it. Near no. The red point is the Greenwich, and they decided that is the first meridian, okay? And we count to the north side degrees until the opposite side, and to the other side,
The negative.
right. The problem was that the equator is the bigger side of the, you know that. You can see this. It's like an orange. Okay. The equator is the bigger side. So the other side is less Tropic of Cancer, or the other, that's the name, Tropic of Capricorn. So like astrology. Yes. So, but at the other side, the meridians are all the same. This is an identical shape of, you know, in reality, yes, have another shape, not so smooth or identical, but here we have to have some state points. So all the meridians are the same. And they decide that the first meridian passes from Greenwich, which is near no. Okay. Also, the last thing for cartography, a GPS or GIS system. Are you finding this interesting, or you want to go? Okay, you can see at the bottom of the right, there's some numbers. Do you see the numbers? The first place they say what the number of 3 or 4 numbers with degrees, minutes, and seconds. Okay. When we count a sphere or a side, we use degrees, minutes, and seconds. Do you understand? Are you familiar with that? It's like the time. After the 59 is the 6 is the next the next unit. So we have if we go to a place like Greece and put the cursor on Greece, we will see that we say in general. I take account of exactly about Greece have some coordinates, that is 37 degrees, 23 minutes. You see, the last number has a comma. Do you see it? Because in order to have more precision, the seconds are counted to with a decade number. So we can have numbers like 59.99. Do you understand? The seconds are, we are very good. That's good. Okay. And also you see that we are in the north, and the other number, the east. What means that? If you see Earth, the equator, and the first meridian makes four. They make four pieces of there. Okay. We start. If we are here in Europe, take the case of you can make don't have you can practice on your computer. You see, we have look at the end of the numbers. There are two letters, N and T. N means north, T means east. Okay, so all these countries that are in the quarter of the scale, okay, are north and east. Do you understand that? I think it's okay. And the other side is west and Pali north. Again, north. We are on the north side of it. If you go on the other side of it, these places are south and east. Okay. And here are south and west at the other side. So the first meridians, on this side we have the west, on the other side we have the east. I think it's very easy, but it's very useful to understand where the place is. Also there in humanities, instead of say Far East. What countries are in Far East?
China,
Far East is also Japan.
Japan,
Yes.
Also, this is important, very interesting. Well, the data layers.
Okay, so we have some coordinates to understand things. Look now. On this is the base. We have some layers from Google, not ours, from Google. Look here, layers. Okay, look at the side, at the left side. We have some names of layers. What are Google have some photos, for example. If you put it, let's go make some zoom because here you can see there's a layer with photos. Look, here's a photo. If I press the cursor, I have a photo. There is a layer with photos. Google have users that they have put them. If I go to the university campus, we are somewhere here. No photo for Kenya. But there are some other layers, borders and labels. You can check and uncheck the tick there. You can use to, if you use the online.
Yes.
The left port is better because it gives you a GIS sense, okay, with the layers at this side. If you untick everything, you have no information except the information that I put here. Borders and labels are the main information that Google provides to us. Also, roads. That's okay. So you can understand the use of layers by this menu here. Okay. Let's now make something more practical. In this toolbar here, we have some places. What are places? Places are places that we have saved to use it in future for our use. For example, I have a laboratory of philosophy school. It goes me to the laboratory. Somewhere here is the amphitheater of philosophy. There is the laboratory of computer laboratory. Maybe in next lessons we can do it. We can do it there. because we have GIS on.
Ah,
Yes, it's very interesting. Okay, so look, some interesting things now. How we can use Google Earth Pro. A main use for you that you can spot some things on it is to use this button, place mark. Place mark are very useful. When you say a place mark, is there something that you want to notice? Take the place mark and you go here. You put it. And you can write the name of the place. I put it in the library. This is a very simple example. I think that you can use it with things that interest you. Also, here it's writing the coordinates of this certain place. And also you can take these coordinates and put it in a GPS and you can go there. And for example, you can put a description here to add a link. If the library has a link, you can write link to change colors and do everything you want. Okay, there is a pin. The place mark here is library. If I press on it, I have the information properties. So if you have some interesting things to place on a map, you can use it with a place map. It's very easy. If you are a teacher in a school, okay, and you have to place something, you find maps in the internet, but you have for the students to about Knossos Palace. So you can place some certain things with place marks and to give some certain information. Also, you can take the coordinates, for example, look at here. This place map gave me some coordinates. I changed the path. Let's see. I'm everywhere. I write here in the search bar coordinates. Let's look at it. So a second use of pins is to take the coordinates and you can give them around. Okay. So pins is very useful. All these toolbars have useful tools, but not now. It's not necessary to say them. Like also you can see a lot of about the weather, about the sun. But the main thing for the simple use of Google Earth Pro is to make pins everywhere you want. You can make a map of Greece and you put where the some poets of the ancient Greece were born. Okay, the birthday places of or to have all Greece and to put place marks around some monuments. This is Google Earth Pro. Look here. If you have a more professional form, look at here. The Ministry of Culture of Greece, using a professional GIS system like ArcGIS, has this made this site that on a basis map, a Google Earth Pro, what happens here. With pins, there is all the put a pin in every archaeological site of Greece. Is it working for you? Ah, okay. When you see a place mark, okay. A basin. Ah, look, for example, I'm going to the Alfonso side. So somewhere here. There's place marks. It's very simple web GIS. It's not very.
So they put the pins in a map that they use it for their own private use.
Oh, it's a public.
It's public.
Yeah, you can use this site, the URL are archaeological climatology, go to so you can place on a monument and you can find some information.
Yes, but the layer, they speak about the layer with the pins.
Ah, if we can use it, the layer.
Yes, if you make, for example, the user make the layer, not the user.
Yeah. There have some, look, there are some layers here, but the other side. They have, this is a public URL, you can't change it.
Yes, of course.
But you can use, they give us, they give some layers like monuments, okay, and you can choose. I want to see only monuments with polygons. But it's very, or I can see protection zones. And you can separate what you want. But the problem is that it's so slow. Also, you can see only the.
No, the question is how can I make one map like this and publish it in my own website,
Okay,
for example?
this is the next step because you can see that Google Earth Pro is
Problematic.
problematic. It don't have tools for that. It's a very simple use. Okay,
See.
look, you can. Yes, you can do it in a simple way using Google Gmail account, okay? And you can place some pins and you can make public, but you will not have the possibility. You don't have some tools to manage it better. Okay,
So the map that we
the map list
goes with the other tools, QGIS,
QGIS, ArcGIS. Yeah, and also these tools have a web GIS tool that you can demonstrate it in a public way. Also, we can put some places here, but it passes through Google. Okay.
Yes, it's
Like the photos. Everybody can place a photo here.
for a place, yes.
For a place, but it's not a layer, a real layer. Because Google give us to use it like users of
Personal users.
Okay. In personal use, it's okay. You can put a lot of places here to make something you are working. Okay. Or it is very useful. Look here, using this tool, the ruler. What is the ruler? Okay. If we are here, let's have KMA. We are here in KMA. Do you have a spatial thinking, understand that we are KMA? If you want to count this, look, ruler, okay, line. We have some. If I want to find the distance between KMA, the entrance of KMA and the entrance of university, for example, or for the distance between the cam and the bus stop. I have a tool line. I start here and I go to the bus stop. With a very simple tool, I count that it is, I can have to change the units, meters, 134 meters. Okay. So a ruler is a very useful tool. Look another tool. If you want to count the path, I want to count here, to count a polygon around the university campus. The university. I can take a tool, ruler, polygon. Whenever I have a path, I can take a path around. I'm not sure exactly now, but you can test it alone with this tool. We can say that around the university is 1,500 kilometers. If you can say to a polygon, the difference between parent polygons that counts in the area. Look, also, again, I have 1,600 about meters. And there is about 200 square all the university. So it gives us some tools to make kind of like that circle. Okay, look at this here. It's very nice. Another very useful thing is the profile. Look at this. If I take a line, a path. Here. For example, I take a path from the bus stop. Okay. We are going to the library. And then to the School of Philosophy. If I check this button here, show elevation, look at here. You can see that going from the bus stop to the amphitheaters of your school, you are going elevation like that. So the teaching rooms are in a
You have to work for that.
It's very interesting if you want to see a monument. If I take a line from here to the sea, look at here. The surface of sea at the 0 point. You can see that the university of the campus of the university is 161 meters above the surface of the sea. But only this, we have these tools. It's very useful for archaeologists because they can count the elevation of some monuments to find some properties or something like that. If I can zoom to Fortezza. Fortezza is look. And I have to ask about the walls around the monument. Okay, look at here, ruler. But I am on the wall, and there's the can see that they have about 29 meters. Okay. there's the surface of the sea and the walls of Fortezza Monument. But only this. Google Pro provides us only these tools. If we want to make some maps for our use, then we have to use other tools. So Google Pro is nice, but for this you can install your computer professional version. Okay. And let's do you want to break something for us? And let's see about QGIS. Do you want to go on? GIS? Okay, GIS.
Don't
Do you have
worry.
any
Break?
where do you have any question about Google Pro? Google Pro is the first step for our use of GIS in a simple way, without to have many requirements, or only to make simple maps and to make to make some things with the place. Okay, the second, QGIS, the free program. Finally, the ArcGIS is more interesting. QGIS. QGIS, I don't believe that anybody has installed it. Okay? No. QGIS is the free and open source program. Look, the first button you see here is donate with bold letters. If you want to install it, the first thing they ask you to donate something. It's not necessary. You go to this special page of downloads, and look here some interesting things. QGIS is developed by communities of people that they are by GIS, and they try to be a modern program with new plugins and new operations. So you can see here the latest version. The latest version is the version that is in time the more modern version, but also there is a long-term version. I'm saying to choose this because these versions are tested from a lot of users, a lot of years, so they are more stable, and I think it's better to use it. So you can the first screen of a GIS, a real GIS program, because as we say, Google Earth Pro is a GIS, but it's a kind of different. Look here, it's about the same logic. Here you can see the layers. Okay, layers. At this place, the left side, there's a browser. What is this browser? Is the place you can find your files. Okay. Do you want to install it in your computers, or you prefer to see the power bar? Maybe for some time.
It's a big file.
I think the online is more fast.
Okay, so this is a real program. Some a lot of buttons here. It's a problem. It's very complicated. Maybe all these buttons confuse you. It is confusing the reality, but maybe a GIS user more experienced maybe find them easy, but look here. From all these buttons, you can use only very few to make your work. Look here, the first problem. Here is something about news. I close that. The news are not here. And here's some recent project. I want a new project. I want a new project. So I want to make a project, make a map. If I want to make a map, I have the choice if I have shape files, layers, you can say. The shape file are the layers. This is kind of layers. About the cholera, it's very easy. There's a browser, so I can find here a shape file, so I can with double click to put it for browser in my GIS or QGIS, or I can move it, drag and drop. First of all, you can see that I have drag and drop 3 times. It's no problem because they have this. There are layers, so they don't care how many times we have it on our browser because we have used every layer for a different use. The QGIS choose for us a different color. Okay. And you see this, you can't understand what is here.
Because it's without a map.
Without a map. Yes.
Underneath.
Okay. If I don't want to see to view the other shape files, I can tick here or untick. Or I can remove. I say you can some tips to use the remove. Okay. I have this shape file. What is that? The name of the shape file is the Dept. Somewhere here, Dept. Where are the Dept? Somewhere on the map. Where is the map? We don't care because they are independent among the layers. I do this like this way because you have to understand that the layer is independent from the base. Okay, where is the base? We will see now. Let's find another.
If I may ask, each dot is connected with the longitude and the latitude.
Look here.
It is without a map, but it is with map coordinates.
GIS programs are very complicated, but I give you look, every shape file has here a button property. This is a great button to manage all these buttons, the properties managed from the color, the symbology, the tick, the labels, everything. Somewhere here you can see that there is a coordinated reference system. So they have defined where, so the GIS system can find. It is very complicated for you to understand the reference, but you can accept that it is okay. So if we are in Greece, we could have another grid, because as we say before, the Earth is spherical. So Google has managed to connect all the GIS reference systems. So in Greece we have a different, but it is inside all world reference system. Okay.
And all these features.
There are a lot of features.
Each dot.
Yes.
For each point.
You can see here the attributes form. Okay, but it's very simple. We will see what we will make. Look at here. As you see, every dot was pointed with a point. The point is the one of the 3 main shapes that we have in GIS. In GIS, we can write points, lines, and polygons in general. Okay. Also, we have some paths, but protocols. Let's try to take another shapefile. What is that? I drag and drop pumps, the water pumps. Okay. But I can't see what happens.
They're in color.
So it's better to change. Let's go here. Hasta red. So if I put them to see both of the files. You can see I don't choose nice colors. The pumps, some pumps there, here. So I have some points on the map. I have only the shape files. Where is the map? Let's try to find the map. If we want to have a base map, we can use some shape files of base map if there's only a country that someone can give us. But here in QGIS, you can use this tool and you can find the quick map services. Okay. A quick map services may be not to see that here. So where is my quick map service? Quick map services is a plugin, and if you go to the menu, there are plugins. You see manage plugins. The plugins have the meaning like the Play Store in mobile phones. We can find plugins for different words. Somebody needs something different. So here you can search quick map services. That is very common for all quick map services, and you can search it here. If you don't find, so you can search for quick map services, and you will go to reinstall, upgrade, or uninstall. It depends. We have installed it, or so we don't need. If I go to plugins, manage plugins, quick map services, uninstall. It will ask me, we want to install it, but I need it. So no. The quick map services, there are some free and free backgrounds of the Earth that Google gives us for free until now. Maybe in future.
That's why it's not included by default.
Yeah.
In the program.
So that's of course. So the OSM is the OpenStreetMaps. The OpenStreetMaps that they use all the mobile phones for GPS systems. They give it as free, for free. If I choose it.
Here we are.
Here we are. Okay. So the OSM standard. I put a map. What map is it? It's the real map of map. Okay. It provides from Google. The real view. Yes, the real map. It's good. We have a very slow within the map. So if I want to go there, I can use pumps. Right click, zoom to layer. So we're going to also the place you need here, you see in the front view, is the place you can make a map. Look another detail. If OSM standard, I put it in front of all the others, you don't see. Why? Because the OSM standard is a layer above that. Do you understand the meaning of the layers? Another detail of layers. When you use a GIS, maybe you have this in your computer, and you say, where is the pump? Where are the pumps? Where are the So the OSM is better to be at the bottom of the layers because it's the first layer. Okay. Let's find another shape file. Okay. What else? If I want to put also to put this is the reference to put the first item of the set of Dr. Zone, they find the map he used. I make a georeference. So you can see that the digitized map, okay, that we find later after years, we digitized it, was very exactly. We put it on the OSM standard, and you can see the street and the roads is exactly the same on the gun side because they're all down there. So you can understand that if you can find a map, historical map, and he has points here, you can digitize the map, you put it, georeference it on the, and if there was a treasure, you can find it. So also I can see, also I can see a T for a JPEG file. It's typed on the map. It's very interesting. Also in the map here, I can, I can put points. Also I can put points. Okay. There's some tools here. But if I want to make some points, I want to make a new shape file. Here, this point makes shape file, new shape file. I want to make a new shape file above all that. And the first it asks me is the geometry. What geometry do you want? Look here. Is the kinds of geometry that a GIS, the same to it says, there are no other points. It's point, multi-point, the line string, the path, and the polygon. A point and multi-points about are points, lines, and polygons are the three basic items that we can draw on a layer for our use. If I want to, with points, to show the cities of Greece, the ancient Greece, I have to put points in every point. If I want to show a road, I want a line. If I want to draw a building, a polygon. If I want to show the walls of Fortezza monument, a cast of reference, I have to
No points, line.
Line. If I want to show only
the whole cast.
the whole cast, maybe I want to show that the walls was built from stone. They have
Also points.
okay. Or polygons again. I make like polygons, like buildings, because in the ancient castle the walls also have sometimes rooms.
You can draw your own polygon, not just a geometrical standard.
Yes, of course, yes. You can make it everything work. The only thing, when you choose what geometry type you, okay, the next stage is the fields, the attribute we said before. I want to make a road. I will choose here. So we say type line string, okay. But here in the field, I have to decide what to want for the road. The name will be a field. The width of the road. What are the kind of the material that is made of. Okay, asphalt. So if I want to make a save file in the GIS, okay, I make a new save file for our use. I decide first of all what kind of geometry type I want to use. And it depends from what I want to show to others. Okay, and the next stage is to make the database. Until at the mid of this frame, I choose the geometry. Okay, and the next where it asks about the new field. It's the database, the attribute database. So I make fields about the name of the road. I can say name. Then it asks me, what is the name? Do you want to be a number, to be a text? Obviously, road is a name. But maybe I want to place here the width of the road. Then it will be an integer or a decimal number. Or, because you give me a nice idea, if I want to place points with philosophers, I will choose points. And then if I want the date, the birth date, I will, in the root, I will put the date. Date. It is very convenient for us to have fields with definite type of data inside, because if you ask it later, tell me this period from one date to the other, about the philosophers they born this period, it will answer. Okay. So to make a new save file is,
and also with putting a date, you can follow the chronological aspect of the place.
of course, yes, with the when we say.
Yes, the way that you say
If we, okay,
the chronological journey.
another. So this is your first sense of a GIS program. You have to ask something to. It is nice, but it's very complicated.
Yeah, but
Look some things now. Where can I find?
I just want to ask if it is how can we share that now? This, for example, this
Yes.
Image as an image or a map, interactive map,
Right.
in a website embedded.
This is the next.
The next,
chapter.
of course,
This
is the
next chapter.
And I think
If
that
we use QGIS, it is very practical to make the GIS in our computer or to have a team to work on it. Okay,
collaborative.
collaborate. Okay, it's
Right.
very to make it this map in a web basis to share it with a public way. Okay, we need another module. We have to have a web GIS. So we need some other tools. And it isn't so convenient for you because you are not so familiar to this. Another tool, the ArcGIS, is better for you. You will see the next step. To make a web server, it is easy. It's not so. From QGIS don't have immediately to give it to the others. The tool that it is good for this work is ArcGIS Online. But we'll see now. Because now you can manage all this information in a good way and a free way. Okay, but then you have a next stage to make a web server. It have some tools, but it's not so collaboration. Also, here notice that there is the main menus, the vector, the geoprocessing tools. Okay, yeah, and the raster. The difference, we have vector files. Okay, vector is there, the points. The points are vector. If I can zoom, look here, zoom. zoom, no problem. But if you see this, yeah, look, this is a raster file, the image.
The image, not the map. the
Okay.
image.
Okay. Okay. And in any kind of file, we have suitable tools. For example, the vector have geoprocessing tools. You can cut, you can buffer, can clips. Okay. Look something now very in English is not good. Not exception. So I can find some useful things that organizations of Greece, statistical, archaeological, have to save files like settlements. Here. I can download. I have two choices: to see it in on a map in the geodata here. I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, don't can. Never mind. There's a map. But if I want to manage it, I can download it here. Download and look. Something more important. Okay. Όχι, κατέβηκε.
Πάει λάθος με το endpoint δικός.
Κατέβηκε, ξέρω. Τέλος πάντων, να το κατέβηκε, οικισμοί. Ωραία.
Να πάμε μέσα το ανοίξουμε.
Ναι, λοιπόν, κατέβησα τους οικισμούς.
Ναι.
Οπότε, I download the server, export. See? You can find a lot of useful things. Maybe someone is wondering about if there is the ancient cities. So,
Υπάρχει ένας χάρτης.
okay. Look at what I was told before. Look, here. This is a project. I don't have only the shape file. Okay. I have also the projection file, database file. Okay. A file with metadata or something like that. Let's go now. So I'm in QGIS and I want to see the settlement of this. I'm going the downloads. It gives me, okay. It gives me. Look, I have the save file. Here I see only the save file, but behind this are all the other files. Every dot here, we choose to have the point. Every dot shows a village or a town for Greece. Where is the origin? Yes. Okay. Do you want to see? Crete. Look, some things for more, and we will finish with GIS, of course. And we will take ArcGIS to answer the final question. Okay. As you see in the browser, also I don't. Also I have some shape files about earthquakes. Also have a file with earthquakes all over Greece. I will see.
From what period? From antiquity?
From yeah. Only I think that last 10 years. Okay. Look some interesting things here. Remember, go right click properties. You can change color. Okay. Black. I change I change the color. Look here, something interesting. If you want, as we say, every dot is combined with attribute table. So we have some information. What information is in this? If you go from properties to labels, we say that no labels. We say we want labels, single labels. In every dot, we have a name. The problem, what is the problem here? We have not right
The font family.
okay, so we are going to the source here, another properties. I want to show you that you can manage everything. And because here the UTF-8 is not suitable, we must use the Greek eyes of Greek, that is this number. Okay. This Greek number. So the problem is solved. So I have a set file and I have this with their labels. Maybe I want to use them for some reason. I don't care now. Last thing for visualization. I have a set file. I have information. I have a lot of things. I make my own with new set file. I want to make a map. Okay. To give it to put it in a paper or for
In my project website.
okay. If I have a shape file, I have the information. I put the final goal is to make project print layout. Look here something. That's what we want the map. The map is a printed map for you. As you see, there are a lot of menus, and you can use a lot of things, but I only give you a general sense, because if anybody wants to make further use of this program, can ask me without problem, or you can alone to search for add item. What can I put there? Add map. Where can I map? Take the map. What map? The place that I have, look, in the view window, only this place. If I want all the Crete, I have to put all the Crete in there. But it's not tracked. Okay. It's not tracked. I put in a place on a map. What are other things I need to make? Also, I can make a picture. I can place here an external picture of another historical map to make comparisons. Okay. A picture of Vallo, I don't have it will ask me where can I find. From this place also I can place arrow to point to somewhere. Okay. But it asks me here about the color, the size, the opacity of the arrow. Okay. Also, I can place here a scale, but because someone wants to know about the size, so it says that also can about Japan. I can put it on the map. A north arrow. A north arrow shows. Also, I can add shapes. It's very boring, but you understand. Shapes. Now I want to say something. Okay. You can do everything here. Okay. A legend. the problem is that I have a lot of a lot of saved files, but if I put data plan, move a layer. If I had information about this layer, it takes the lizard and explains what symbol is what. The symbol are it is me. Okay. Don't care about that. It's on the other. The other
is this an active map, it's not an image of the map.
map. Yes. And you can take it. Also, there are a lot of things that you can add. Active map is the real map we have in GIS. Now we say that we make a map, we create a map to have a printable version for a paper.
Printable.
So okay. Also you can put a text. Okay, label. Label. You can put label here, artist. If you put everything you want on the paper, go export as PDF. We give a name. And finally, you have a PDF with some. This is useful for a scientific work. You have a map with some information. Okay, this is the first thing that you make a map from a GIS. You can manage it whole from all the map. But you have solved the problem with a web map. Finally, using these tools, print layout, what we can do? We can make a shape file, okay? Or we find a shape file from others, and we can put some PowerPoint on it or lines or everything. And then we can, of course, and finally to print it, okay? But it's not only this thing. This is the first step to make a printable PDF or to put it in a research paper. This is very useful. But all QGIS, but we need another seminar. Here there are a lot of tools that you can make spatial analysis. Okay, you can ask it if we have labels with the population. Okay, in every dot we can ask it, give me the population that where the villages or towns population that is less than 1,000 habitats. Okay, we can make to ask things. We can make analysis. Analysis is a very important thing. There is a online, a web-based environment, working environment, but it's very slow. So you have a public map, that you can make the same things like we made with GIS. We can make layers, and also you have you can make it public. Okay.
And share
Look,
them
look,
afterwards.
I'm in Crete. I have the background. It's no need to download it. Okay. And I can add a layer with simple, very simple way. Okay. And okay, it's looking for something, things that will have work here. I asked in Greek or in but the name of the base map is in Greek. I can ask him, I want a satellite. Okay. I want a satellite with labels. I want the road. It's very strange because in English and if you choose the base map, okay, another button is to make the table, the attribute tables. You see what you want to add. And it's looking what I've already done, that I've made new layers. Go here to, it is blank, having nothing. Do go to the right place and you can make some new information. Also, there are some tools like Google Pro. You can do some measurements or to place direction in the simple way. If you want to make a map with some certain information, you want to make to put points. Very, very, very.
Let's put some points of interest.
Let's see to have some ideas. Here's gallery. And the creation side. Look at gallery for some works or projects. Okay. Have some idea. There is a here there is a geopark geologist make that's it. Ask me if I want to sit in the map viewer. In the map viewer is the public section. If you say that it's a public, everyone that has this URL without to be joined with an account, you can see that. This is the geopark.
The geoparks. What is geopark? It's
something we don't understand what right here because of the reason. Maybe it will. There are some projects that look. Εδώ έχουμε τώρα τα γεωπάρκα όλα τα σημεία. Αυτό που το έχει εδώ πέρα έτσι με σκούρο. This is with the dark color. Is a geopark. Look here. I want to make some corrections to put some information, more information, draw. I can draw something different, okay? Yeah. Also can put text. Okay. To write something. Thank you. Εντάξει, το παίρνει, δεν γράφει το μήνυμα. Θα το έδωσα mountain. Να το βάλω εγώ, να το βάλω δικιά μου πληροφορία. Είναι σαν να δημιουργώ δικό μου layer, εντάξει, από πάνω. Έχει εργαλεία, ό,τι θέλεις. Σε έτοιμα. Look, here I found the UNESCO Global Geopark, okay? It is public. And it is made the May of 2023. Also, another one is Geoparks. Open here. So look, we have a global map that we have points with information for geoparks. If we go to Crete, you press the button, the mouse button, the left button of mouse on a point, and you can see the table with the attribute, the information we was talking about before, for every point. This is a table of attributes. We need to have tables because if we ask the GIS, tell me about geoparks in Europe. There is a field continent in English and in Greek also that we have Europe. So GIS will search all the tables to find the field with Europe. Okay, and it will show us only the geoparks in Europe. Also, every point have to have a ID, object ID. I have to say that object ID must be unique. Every point has one ID. And also there are some other information. You must understand that GIS give us tools to make lines for that. The information inside it, it's your own thing to decide what information we will put in the special data. Everybody is occupied with another project. Before you can start to put information in the GIS, you have to decide exactly. I want the fields, I want name, I want size, I want color, I want, and you make the attribute table. Okay, so we can the final result. What happens here? Mountains. Something goes wrong.
With a graphic card.
You want to make a map with the founders and the position of the Eiffel Tower. And here are the steps. Go to the map, the first step. This is very easy steps. You make zoom to Paris, change the base map that I was saying before, that if you want the satellite base map, you want the real Earth base map, you want the reverse. There are a lot of kinds of base map, topographic and so. Then you look exactly what are you looking for. In this case, you look for Paris, okay, or especially for Eiffel Tower. Go to the tower. and there you put a placeholder. Also in ArcGIS, there are a lot of choices, line, points, polygons. It's not so complicated like GIS. GIS is, it's a real GIS program. This online is like a game.
I like
It's better, I think. Okay. You can choose from all these tools here. You can do it now if you want, or it's not so many times. Also, you can change colors. And you put a placeholder here. Also, you can make a legend later. The legend have the meaning that what is in the blue placeholder. Eiffel Tower. Also, you can make bookmarks. You can create bookmarks. Yeah, in order to go directly to this place. And also you can put the photo.
You work, these tools are in the open viewer.
Open map, open view to
Open streets.
Open streets.
It's
Open street is the layer.
Open streets, the layer.
The layer.
which is free.
Yes, but ArcGIS Online, yes, of course, has if you want to manage the layers, has the open map viewer. The program is the open map viewer. The layer is. So add a layer, Maria. You add a layer. Can browse the layer.
And this, where was it?
Look,
This
finally.
Okay, sorry.
And finally, you have a map. Finally, you have a map with the place where Eiffel Tower is, and all are the blue points. The blue points are water fountains. Okay, and also in the attribute table, we have drink fountains and for urban landscape. So later you can separate. Give me the fountains with drinkable water. I want to find where can I drink water. There is the attribute table. The attribute table of fountain is with the ID, fountain ID. And some other information. The address, that's it. Department. It's a good exercise if you want to. Finally, this is interesting. Save the map. Also, you can put some tags there. And you can save it. If you now you have an account that you can make it public, you can make it public, and you can share the link to the people you want, and you can see, they can see